everyone, we're back with episode 3 of the Q&A with head of school, Mr. Bruce Fawcett.
And his daughter, Bailey Fawcett.
And I have some more questions from students to ask you. Let's get into it. So the first question we have is, will day students be getting paid partial tuition refunds for food?
Okay, that's actually a pretty common question right now. So the school first is not looking to profit from kind of the circumstance. So we're kind of assessing where we have collected fees for like student parking or for busing, and looking at ways to kind of credit that back to families potentially. Lunch is a little more complex. That's included in tuition, so we don't have necessarily a specific dollar value that each student kind of is entitled to every day, but we're looking at it. I don't know what we're going to do. I can tell you that it won't be for a while yet, because we need to kind of see how the current situation progresses. It'd be silly for me to credit money back and then have to recollect it later on. So we're looking at that.
Okay, the next question is, will North Broward be closed until May 1st?
Yeah, so just this last week, Governor DeSantis said that all schools, public and private in the state of Florida, need to close through May 1st, which is a Friday. So the soonest we would open would be Monday, May 4th. That would be the earliest. So the answer is yeah.
Next is, if we are still online at the end of the year, are seniors still able to exempt their final exams if they follow all the requirements?
So that question came up from the faculty earlier this week, and we haven't had a chance to have a conversation on it kind of as an administrative team. We are kind of adjusting our expectations of what the end of the year will look like. We're not doing traditional final exams anyway. So we have to have conversation around that. I would think that we would probably have an answer to that kind of by next week.
Okay. Our next question is, are teachers required to keep students in the Zoom call for the entire duration of interactive class time?
So I think our expectation is that teachers are creating activities and working with kids for that full time. Look, I think that there's always flexibility around kind of the last few minutes of a class, but what we don't want to have is a teacher coming in saying, hey, everybody, here's what I need you to do, and signing off, and then you have, the next hour and 20 minutes on your own. We want teachers actually engaging face-to-face on those Tuesday and Wednesday sessions.
Okay, but it doesn't have to be the entire duration.
So what I'm going to say is we would like it to be the vast majority.
Mm-hmm. All right, the next question is there a possibility that we can turn all of the events that were geared towards seniors, such as graduation and prom, into one major event?
So again, that's something that we have been discussing. The high school team in particular is now meeting on a weekly basis to kind of consider what the end of the year is going to look like for all of the students in the high school. The middle school is doing the same as well. But in particular, kind of looking at those end of the year events for seniors and coming up with a variety of kind of plans that they think they can support. So I can tell you right now that the last day for seniors will be May 22nd, which is the traditional graduation day at North Broward. And I know that the high school is planning something on that day. We would love it to be a face-to-face graduation. Not sure if that's going to be possible. If it's not going to be that, we want to give students kind of some closure at the end of the year, and then we're going to look for additional opportunities to do some of those things that we know and love, which would be like a traditional graduation ceremony, maybe a senior dinner or a dance, or maybe just one big event to kind of give people the opportunity to get back together and end their high school kind of career in that way. It's important to us to do that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so certain students have been facing some difficulties with the Summatives days being based on subject.
Mm-hmm.
What would you suggest for students that have 4 or 5 summatives on a day?
Well, the way the schedule is set up is they shouldn't actually have 4 or 5 summatives on any given day. Because it's set up by departments, most students wouldn't have multiple classes in any individual department. Some might have one department with 2, but they wouldn't have so many that they would have more than typically 3, I would think. What I always recommend, if students find that the schedule isn't working for them personally because of their specific schedule, that they reach out to teachers and look to try and work with them. Our teachers are the same teachers that they always are, and they're flexible and they want to do what's right by kids.
Okay, and lastly, is there anything that has happened since we last met that you would like to share?
Well, today I had a nice meeting with all the faculty, and we had a really good conversation around what's been positive in our lives. You know, the media in this situation can be so overwhelmingly kind of stressful and negative, that we actually talked a lot about what are positive things that are going to come as a result of the time that we've spent in virtual learning and this challenge. And actually people were able to identify some really interesting things in terms of kind of personal opportunities that they have with their families, professional growth. You know, they feel like they're going to be better teachers at the end of this, kind of nice things for the school to consider to embed in the school program, kind of virtual classes. As that's one of those things that I think most kids experience in college now. So I think that was a really nice thing that has just recently happened. We actually had that just this afternoon at about 4:00. So that was a good thing.
Okay. Well, thank you for being here, and thank you for watching. If you have any further questions, be sure to send them in to student government through the Instagram account, or you can email Andrew Peterson or Bailey Fawcett. Thank you.
Bye, guys.